majestic as.
What's up everyone, how's it going? Alright, so this is welcome to vlog 5. I'm going to start off with telling you what's going to be happening in these vlogs. So about every 4 or 5 vlogs we're going to be just chucking in, or for the time being we're just going to be doing these little sit down vlogs. Yeah, like we really enjoy all our vlogs talking about and going out on shoot missions and adventure missions and everything like that, but we thought it would be good to, instead of just putting out and showing what we're up to, which is fine, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but we thought after having a really good chat with I would call a mentor of mine up in Tweed Heads, we sort of thought to ourselves, hang on, you know, what are we doing these vlogs for? Like, I'm all for giving, and so is Louise, and we thought, far out, maybe it'd be a really good idea to, you know, do a vlog every now and then that just gives back to all the people who follow us. Like, you guys do so much for us, you know, follow us all, and you give us love and support and all that love, all those, like, all that, you know, fake stuff, like all those likes and stuff, even though it is a like or a comment or a message, you know, it keeps us going on what we want to do. So yeah, so we haven't got a name for these, but for the moment we're just going to call them our little sit down vlogs. And you know, every 3 or 4 vlogs, 3, 4, 5 vlogs, every month or so it'll be a different topic. So this month's topic is going to be on money. So yeah, these vlogs are just going to be little tips and tricks that me and Louise think we've picked up along the way of living, or the way of being a teenager, and all of that jazz, because as we all know, being a teenager can be tough, if that's relationships, if that's friends, if that is school, careers, money, family stuff. You know, I feel like I've been through a lot of stuff, and I feel like I've been pretty lucky in the way that I feel like I was born as a pretty aware kid. Even though I wasn't that bright at school, I feel like I've always been very life switched on. I feel like I can tell and read people's emotions pretty well, and I feel like this is just something I'd love to talk about more. And I think there's no point in me absorbing all this knowledge and reading about this stuff and without handing it on to other people. So this is our vlogs to giving back to you. You know, as you guys give us a lot, you watch all of our stuff. So these every month we're gonna give a vlog back to you. You know, if these kick off, we might even do one of these a week and an adventure vlog a week. It just depends. You know, actually, you know what? Leave down in the comments. Leave if you'd like to see these more regularly. At the moment, Louise isn't going to be joining me on this one. Because she's up in Queensland having her own little break, having her own little time to herself with her sister. So yeah, so she's enjoying the nice sun weather up there. So I'll be doing this one solo. So yeah, hopefully you guys can stay around. And what I said before, this topic is money. Now, money is the big scary word that we hear our parents talk about, or as a kid we learn that money is the thing that drives, is the thing that gives us everything we want. That is what this society teaches us. And from what I've found is, the more emphasis we put on money, the less emphasis we seem to put on ourselves and our self-happiness and self-worth. So yeah. This is the way I see money, and it's something I've gone by. Money is paper. Should we give up happiness for paper? Think of money as just paper. It is only paper. Yes, it makes us survive on planet Earth, but it is only paper. We should base survival on money. But should we base happiness on money? We were born with this magical emotion called happiness. And people seem to think that the more of that paper we have is going to make that happiness. And I don't believe that. Yeah, it's awesome. It's going to be fantastic if you're quite loaded and that. It means you're going to be able to survive on the earth a lot better than others. But that shouldn't make you happy. If that's all making you happy, there's something wrong. I believe anyway. That's a self-opinion, but it's been said a lot and it's very cliche. But I'm a strong believer that money does not bring you happiness. Should we define our career on money? No, I don't think we should. Okay, so going on from money. Money also relates to jobs and careers. So today's talk is going to be a little bit about money, a little bit about how to figure out what you want to do in your life. Because from what I hear, and from what I hear from so many people from my old school and everything is, you know, how they're worried about that they don't know what they want to do and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so I'm going to be touching on that a little bit. So, what did I get here? Yeah, so I'm always told, and I'm always put up by ex-teachers and that saying, gee Matt, you're really lucky that you found what you wanted to do when you were young. I think there's a difference between luck and putting things into place to boost that luck. I ain't just sitting on my bum eating popcorn, bit of PlayStation, and then one magical day photography came into my head and said, oh, you should be a photographer. No. Didn't happen. Did not happen. When I was young, I was always a very impatient kid. I wanted to know what I wanted to do. I was never going to be the kid who got to year 12 and didn't know what I was going to do. For some people, they're a little bit more chilled about that and they're just going to see how life turns out for them. That's okay. But for me, and I know there's a lot more people out there who get quite anxious about that sort of stuff. So I knew that I had to find out what I wanted to do. So I was probably about 13, probably a year before I picked up my camera, and I didn't really know. I was starting to get a little bit stressed out, so I got told some critical, awesome information by someone, and that was write down your 10 favourite things to do in life. Nothing to do about money. Don't think about money. Don't think about career. Don't think about anything besides your 10 favourite things to do in life. Then after you do that, cull it back to 5. Then find your 5 favourite things to do, grab them, chuck them into Google, and then put jobs at the end of it. By the way, this isn't one of my first tips I'm giving you. This is how I found a lot easier to figure out what I wanted to do. And then it'll come up with a whole lot of jobs, or just take 2 words, or if you can nail it down to like 2 words, put in like, I don't know, travel, writing, and friends. Chuck those in. Travel, writing, friends, jobs. And something will come up. Something will come up. And you know, what I did, for example, it was stories in creating things. And I thought, oh, maybe I can be a writer or a painter. Didn't have anywhere near the patience to be a painter. I couldn't paint or draw like a picture for 2 weeks of the same thing. Just not going to happen. I figured that out pretty quick. Writing, figured that out pretty quick as well. You know, being a bad spell. Look, it's not a limit to writing, but yeah, for me, it just never felt like it was gonna make me happy always writing and having the majority of it spelt wrong. But then I thought, far out, you know. I love my technology. I love technology. I've always been interested in technology. Technology, stories, creativity. And it pretty much came together one day, you know, by me writing down these things and consciously in the back of my head, having those 3 things in the back of my head, and just consciously, you don't know you've got those things in the back of your head, but one day I was sort of sitting there thinking about that and went, holy crap, photography, maybe video as well. That's what I want to do. I've got it. Bang. Picked up a camera the next day, took some random weird shots of bees and and flowers outside and went, yeah, and just was like, yeah, it's what I want to do. And people tell me that is a luck. People say you're lucky you found what you did when you were so young. No, I'm not lucky. I put certain things into place to help me find out what I wanted to do. So there's my number one tip. 10 favourite things, 5 favourite things. Google, research, read about what you want to do. Keep a journal on the side of your bed, so sometimes if you have it, keep something on the side of your bed with a pen. Every time you have an idea about anything, a business idea, maybe what you want to do, or maybe a new favourite word, chuck it in there. Wake up in the morning and re-look at it. By thinking and reading about what you want to do more, it will come to you what you want to do a lot easier than by sitting on your bum and going, oh, it'll come to me one day what I want to do, but not really thinking about it at all. So there's my number one, my first tip. My second tip is my 3X rule. So this 3X rule is something I sort of created from reading a few books. So yeah, the first one is reading and doing. So after you find the hardest thing, your passion, after you find that, after you figure out what that is, read about it and just do heaps of it. It can be anything. I'm not just talking about my industry. If you want to be a vet, just check out your dog or whatever vets do, you know. Read about it as much as you can, because if you pick your favourite thing and you're not interested in learning about it, well, obviously that's not what you're destined to do. You need to be interested enough to want to learn about it. And for me, learning was a hard thing. In school, I struggled to learn. I struggled to learn anything I didn't enjoy. But as soon as I found anything to do with a camera, I just wanted to learn everything about it. So that's the first one, reading and doing. My second rule is find a mentor. Now, this applies really heavily in my industry, but I think it applies in any industry. If you want to be a doctor, source a family friend, find the local doctor, go to your local medical centre or whatever, and just say, hey, is there any chance I could sit down with you for a coffee and just talk about what it is to what your job's like and what it takes to be a doctor and everything like that? Having a mentor and talking to a mentor for a day can almost be more beneficial than going to school for half a year. I have lots of mentors. I have teachers at school who are close mentors. I have teachers at uni who are close mentors. I've had teachers from primary school who are still mentors. I have photographers who are my mentors. I have lots of different people who are mentors. And mentors, people who have gone through all of this and have gained a little bit of wisdom from it, are the most beneficial tool ever. So mentors is the second rule. And the third rule is opportunities. I think a lot of people get scared by opportunities. A lot of people don't take opportunities because they have a party on the next day or stuff like that. You know, if you want to break away from the rest, you've got to take every opportunity. If I could count the amount of times I've put off going to a party or put off seeing someone to shoot a free gig or to meet up with a random photographer or meet up with anyone. This applies to any industry. Okay, this applies to anyone. Opportunities. Taking opportunities. One opportunity can lead on to a big opportunity which can lead to your break into the industry or to whatever you want to do in life, or can even just give you some more knowledge. So my 3 rules are there. My 3X rule. Read and do. A mentor and take the opportunities. For me, they're the 3 most important things to starting your career or starting what you want to do in life. This vlog is just to sit down talking about money and some tips I've got to how to figure out what you want to do in life, or you could call it how you create your own reality. This is something Sol and Rochelle talk about a lot. If you don't know them, I'll link them down below. They're probably two of the biggest inspirations I've had all year. They just do some absolutely great things, and is part of the reason why I can quite confidently say that I think I run a business that is sustainable. But you know, that's not where I want to start. That's not where I want to stop. There is a long way. There's a massive goal list for my business, and you know, I'd love to see it get there one day. But all I know is, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, or if you want to run your own business, or if you want to make your own clothing brand or anything. It's just about hard work. Like, I follow this one guy called Cam Greenwood on Instagram. He owns the clothing brand called Monster Surf, and I follow his stuff a lot because for me, looking at his content and looking what he's doing all the time, to me it just looks like he's the sort of guy who said, alright, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to get my business to the place I want it to. Doesn't matter if you start up the 120th clothing t-shirt company in your area. If you're prepared to put in just that little bit more effort than every person you meet, you'll get there. The money will come. Just to summarise what this is all about, this is my first sit down, so it might sound a little bit all over the place, but yeah, just my two big tips was the write your 10 favourite things down, cull it to 5, and then from there figure out what you'd want to do. And then my 3 extra, which I'll also type down in below. Louise is sorry she couldn't be here for this one, but you know, she's got some stuff to talk about in terms of school and how she feels about school and things that tips and stuff that she can pass on to girls. You know, I understand that being a girl at school is a lot different to being a guy, and that's not just stuff I'm not really good at and won't be ever really good at covering because I'm not a girl. So yeah, there's going to be lots of stuff like that Louise will be also sharing with you. Finding your passion. Finding your passion and making a living from your passion is going to fulfill your life and make you happier than settling for a corner shop down the road or working in something you don't enjoy. Don't settle for something based on money. That's my number one thing. Don't settle for a job based on money, because you only live this life once. And this is something Louise is super grateful. She's obviously probably been one of the most beneficial friends I've had in my whole entire life. And for me, she's taught me that every moment matters. For all I know, I could die tomorrow. And will I be happy with the life I've lived here and I've done everything I could for myself and for others? Because we only get one time, we only get one shot. We only get one shot this life. Look, hopefully there's another life after this, but we only get one go at this. So, for all we know, everyone's destined to die at some point. I know this is a really heavy thing to talk about, but it's true. Death is real. So, for all I know, I might die tomorrow. I want to die knowing I've learned and I've done as much as I can for myself and for my self-worth, and I've given back. In the comments if you feel like you'd like to see more of these, maybe more regularly. Maybe we can do one of these during the week, and on the weekends we can chuck up our adventure vlogs. So yeah, for me that's it tonight. Sorry about probably doing it in this really gloomy bedroom, but I would have loved to do it. Would have loved to do it outside, but today's been all rainy and horrible. But yeah, that's it from me tonight, and I will see you in vlog 6.